would love to know, Miss Jessie Mueller, as someone who I feel like kind of touches on kindness and the themes around it quite often, at least in the research I've done. What is your definition of kindness?
I think generosity, I think making space for someone can be kindness. I think showing up for someone can be kindness. There's an element of space to it, I think. Whether you are making space for someone emotionally or physically, because sometimes kindness, I think, is the thing that goes away when we are tapped out, when we're stressed, when we don't have a lot of
Hmm.
space left, emotional space left. And so sometimes I think we have to work at cultivating that space so that we can be kind, so that that is our first reaction to something. That is our because I think moving through the world that way is best.
We live in a world where I feel like people are afraid to be vulnerable, which I totally get.
Yeah.
And
We have a
we
lot of
ask,
reasons to be afraid.
we do have a lot of reasons to be afraid. I'm afraid, but you ask someone how they are, they just say good and nod. And do you have any thoughts on how you think we can each, I guess, practice being more vulnerable in the moment and not just slapping a smile on our faces?
As we move through life, we learn places where it is safer to be more vulnerable, and there are some places where it's not safe to be vulnerable. But I don't it's if you come back to kindness, I don't think those things always have to go hand in hand. Like, you can,
Mm,
if you have to protect yourself and maybe be a little less vulnerable in a certain situation, it doesn't mean you can't be kind,
yeah.
or that you have to be fake, or
No,
you
that's
have
true.
to, you know what I mean? There are, hopefully we know our people that we can be, that we can show up and be our, you always, right, we want to be our full selves walking through the world, but we also know how to protect ourselves. There
Mhm.
are there are things called coping mechanisms, and they're there for a reason, and things
Yeah.
we do for protection.
Is there like a message that you've had in your brain from when you were dreaming of doing this until now that you hope comes through every project you do?
Whatever it is, I just want people to feel less alone.
Mm,
I think that's sort of what it comes down to for me. I think we can all relate to feeling like it's those things that make us not want to be vulnerable. You're like, it's too dangerous to be vulnerable
mhm.
because I'm the only one, or I have shame around this, or
Yeah.
I have fear or trauma around that. And to be able to participate in something, because I think that's, and hey, I'm, as much as the next person too, I love to just watch something, see something that is just makes me happy and
Oh, yeah.
makes me enjoy something. But there's still something about a connection there. There's connection. There's not feeling, you also don't feel alone in something like that, because you are sharing joy with people. There's an
Yeah.
exchange there.
It's like
But
the heart. Yeah.
yeah, it's at the heart of it that there's something there. But yeah, because I think so many of us walk around feeling so alone in things
Mm,
that we are not alone in,
yeah.
whether it's addiction or anxiety or depression or things like that. And then
Yeah.
and then then you just surround that with the shame of feeling like you're the only one, or no one will understand me, or and things like that, and cycles like that, I think, start to get broken
Mhm.
when we share, when we open ourselves up. And so I think it's very important to be seen, and representation is really important. That's how
Mhm.
people feel seen. That's how people feel less alone, when they see that someone else is going through what they're going through, whatever it may be. There is huge power in that.
In regards to this musical and people struggling just to accept themselves in general and their dreams, on multiple levels, I guess what's your advice for people listening working toward accepting themselves, but feeling like they can't, like they're not quite there yet? I know it's a
Wow.
work in progress for everybody, but
It's a work in progress for everybody. It's a work in progress for me. I think it in some ways it boils down to, well, what are the voices that are telling you you're not there yet?
mm,
And where are those voices coming from? And where did you learn those voices? And where did you hear those voices? And
mm,
do they matter? Are they the
yeah,
ones you need to listen to? You have what you need. God put you here for a reason, and the universe wants you to shine. And I just, I come from a very privileged place. I give a lot of credit to people who have a harder time moving through this world and being themselves because of the way the world reacts to them.
Mm.
I have a lot of privilege just being a white woman. I can I can walk into rooms that some people might not have access to, or not
Mhm.
yet. But I see, and I'm beginning to see now, the generations that have made way for people of my generations and the generations to come to be more themselves, to feel more whole, to walk into a space and say, this is who I am. Um, you know, to say I am
Yeah.
what I am, and I will make no excuses, you know?
Mm.